to pick up that camera mark.
Jurassic World Rebirth has made $860 million at the global box office, and the movie is now in talks to getting a sequel made. Gareth Edwards has given his opinion on where he'd like to see the story go, and Scarlett Johansson is heavily speculated to return, while Jonathan Bailey might be staying home and not coming back as Dr. Henry Loomis. I have a lot of opinions on this news, and we're going to be talking about everything we've heard so far about where the next Jurassic Park movie is rumored to go. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now look, when it comes to Jurassic World Rebirth, of course this movie was going to get a sequel. Now, the film actually made $140 million less than Jurassic World Dominion, but to be fair, almost everything is making less money nowadays, and this one beat out everything else Hollywood threw at it. Still, Jurassic World Rebirth has gotten a lot of mixed reception from critics. Audiences like the movie a little bit more, but the improvement over Jurassic World Dominion and Fallen Kingdom seems to be the biggest takeaway that people have given. Now, as far as rumors for this sequel go, Gareth Edwards himself has stated that he actually really likes the idea of the heart disease remedy that was teased to be made at the end of Jurassic World Rebirth, turning into something it wasn't intended to be, and this having a very bad effect on humans, kind of like in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. But it should be noted that this was apparently just a suggestion given to him by an interviewer who was asking questions about where things could go in the future. Gareth Edwards was quoted with the following: "Maybe there's something in there, but no, we tried to make this movie like a single standalone. When I look back on sequels, trilogies that I love, what they all have in common is that the first movie was on its own, and then it became a high-class problem of how do we make the others. I've genuinely never talked about it with anybody. Not a single conversation with David Koepp or Frank Marshall or Universal about a sequel. I think everyone's like, knocks on wood, all they want is for people to really like this movie and make the best film we can, and that's it." Now there's actually another quote from Gareth Edwards that says the following: "But as a fan, like a lot of people in the world, in my mind, I'm like, you know what I'd love to see? That's in the back of my head as a fan. Let's hope they do something like what's in the back of my head one day. Who knows how that will happen, but I'm rooting for that." Now he also said that he's been very lucky even if it's just a one and done scenario, and he hopes for Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey and everyone else to make a return in the future. But look, now we know that at least one of those people is very unlikely to come back. Looks like Jonathan Bailey is taking a break from acting, so don't expect to see Dr. Henry Loomis in the next movie, but we do have a lot of people saying that Scarlett Johansson is who Universal is looking to bring back for the next Jurassic World film. So that would mean that she would probably remain the focus in the next story, or at least the focus for now. But who would join her in the new movie? Because Mahershala Ali wanted to be killed off in Jurassic World Rebirth, so maybe if he returns, he won't be making it out of the next movie alive, or they do something entirely different and keep him around for future sequels. I don't know what direction they're going to go with the cast besides Scarlett, but Scarlett Johansson also has an asterisk on her name at this given point. We'll talk more about that later. Now, believe it or not, David Koepp has also openly talked about returning to do a sequel as well, and had a few things to say about Jurassic World Rebirth and whether or not he would come back to do the next one. After being asked if the next movie could just start with all new characters again, similar to what he did in Jurassic World Rebirth, David Koepp said, quote, "It's something I considered. You know, it's bad luck to talk about a sequel before you see how the world feels about my first try. But yes, you could use these characters, or it could be, did you read the novel World War Z?" He's asking if any of you guys read World War Z. He says he highly recommends it, and that, quote, "I see why they couldn't do a movie that way, but every chapter goes to a different place around the world. You don't follow a character throughout, and I always thought that would be interesting for a movie series. Every movie is different in a different place around the world, and one could do that with this. You could have all new characters and set it someplace else." And after being asked if he felt rejuvenated with his work on Rebirth and if he'd like to do more Jurassic Park movies, David Koepp responded with, "I would." So look, the whole criticism around the idea that David Koepp doesn't want to continue with the dinosaurs being global anymore, it looks like that's not true, because if he's talking about World War Z, see, where a new story could be set in a different place all around the world with a brand new chapter and even having completely new characters, that means he's still open to doing the dinosaurs all around the world angle, or at least at different parts of the equator, which is what he set up in Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, I don't really know what direction anybody is going to go within the new movie, and I don't think anybody really knows at this given point in time, but the rumors around the new film state the following: that Scarlett Johansson is supposed to return in the lead role as Zora Bennett, that director Gareth Edwards could return to make the new movie, and that Universal is already in the early stages of pre-production. Now, there's not been any official confirmation on any of that. However, the sources are apparently very accurate with their info most of the time, and it looks like Universal is definitely going to want to continue the story further due to how much money the new film has made. Now, if I could just make a humble suggestion based off of all of that data, look, in my opinion, the next Jurassic Park movie needs to be better than Jurassic World Rebirth. And as far as optics go, I would actually say that the next movie needs to be better received than 2015's Jurassic World. Hopefully with critic and audience scores going higher into the 80 percentile range for both measurements. Now, if they can pull that off, it would be a massive boost in the reputation for the Jurassic Park brand. And it would be something everybody would be proud of due to where the series has been, at least critically, over the last several years. My suggestions on how to do this, while also being a very well-liked audience pleaser, would be to write a way stronger screenplay. Focus on the character development, but keep it in the man versus nature attitude. And probably consider bringing back principal characters from the previous movies. The people that I think would generate the most interest if they were starring alongside Scarlett Johansson are Chris Pratt and Sam Neill. Now, of course, there are a ton of other people you could consider: Julianne Moore, Jeff Goldblum, Bryce Dallas Howard, Laura Dern, even Nick Van Owen's return from the Lost World Jurassic Park, Vince Vaughn. I mean, there's actually quite a lot of actors that you could bring back, even Lex and Tim. But if Zora Bennett is going to be in the next movie and Gareth Edwards is going to direct, I'd highly recommend a darker sequel, a very simple story, and just offer some idea with the more realistic version of Owen Grady, similar to his military characters that Chris Pratt has played in other films before. Kind of transpose that onto the Chris Pratt Owen Grady character in the next movie and put it in a dinosaur survival film that leaned into the awe and beauty that we see in modern Avatar movies with the jungle, while also diving into the more serious nature of a Dark Knight kind of plot. I know that sounds like a lot, but all I'm really suggesting here is a film that goes for something a bit more grounded and cool, which is what the audience is always talking about. Work on the logistical nature of problems within these Jurassic Park sequels, make it more smart, make it less forced. The characters and the story writing in general, especially in terms of logistics, are also massively important to having something last through time. You don't just want to be a really cool B movie, you want to be a really good A movie that has awesome spectacle. And that's what Jurassic Park is. Now, all of the dinosaur action that was featured in Jurassic World Rebirth was something that I think people enjoyed a lot. I do still think that if you aim for that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes level screenwriting, you could really knock things out of the park. But hey, those are all just my own thoughts and opinions on the subject matter. Now, what do all of you guys think? What are your thoughts on the rumors surrounding Jurassic World's next sequel? And where do you think they could go from here? I will say that if this movie, this new one, makes around $600 to $750 million at the box office, that's still a big decline in the ticket sales. But you have to look at it from this perspective, guys. It's admittedly still higher than Superman, which fell into that like under $700 million category, which was the only real competition for Jurassic World Rebirth. This new movie is going to happen, so there's a lot to think about. I just want to see the series improve. I've given my own thoughts on how you can make audiences really like it, as well as critics, but hey, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be on the subject matter, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I want to thank everyone that's helped me build my channel over the years. I'd also like to thank every one of you guys who've watched my stuff. You've all been extremely cool to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and hope that you'll consider subscribing. God bless you all. Christ is King. See you guys in the next video, and as always, take it easy.